Hi, everyone. So my name is Danielle Spalding. I am currently an intern at the Academic Success Center at Rider University, as well as a mentor for embedded tutors and supplemental instructors. And this video is primarily going to focus on free writing, as you can see, what it is, why we do it, and how we can go about doing it. So let's just jump in. So free writing is just a simple exercise that you can do. It's literally just writing nonstop for some amount of time. It's usually recommended between 5 or 10 minutes. It could be with pen and paper, pencil paper, crayon paper if you're feeling so inclined. It could even just be typing on the computer in Google Docs, Microsoft Word, whatever you feel most comfortable with. And again, just words to paper. And the primary focus here is on the process, the writing process, not so much the product. So usually when you're free writing, you're not going to create your best work. If you're writing nonstop, you're not necessarily stopping and thinking about everything that you're saying. So it probably isn't going to be your best work. But that's not what matters. What matters is how you're approaching it, what you're learning from it, what you're gaining from it. And you gain a lot of different things from it. So why we do it? We do it for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes embedded tutors use this at the beginnings of their sessions to kind of get you focused on writing and the task at hand, not, focusing on everything else going on in your life. But it can also help you to overcome some mental blocks. So if you know that you have to sit down and work on an assignment, but you keep getting distracted and whatever else, free writing can help to kind of zone you in again so that you can focus on what you're supposed to be doing. It can also help to increase your writing endurance. That basically just means the amount of time you sit and actually write. So if you're someone that writes for a couple minutes and then you're like, oh, I need to get up and take a break, gonna have a snack, pause and do a different assignment and then come back to it and then stop again. Your writing endurance is just how long you're going to sit and work on it. So the more you free write, the more used to just sitting and writing on demand you'll be. So you'll be able to increase that amount of time that you can spend working on things that maybe you don't really want to work on. But some people also do it to relax, have fun. Some people really do enjoy writing. So hopefully this can be an enjoyable experience for you. It's not meant to be stressful in any way. It is supposed to be a fun experience. So hopefully when we talk about this a little bit more, it can be. So Peter Elbow has this fantastic quote in one of his books that I really wanted to share with you. I just love the phrasing of it and the overall message. And it just says, sometimes you'll produce good writing, but that's not the goal. Sometimes you'll produce garbage, but that's not the goal either. You may stay on one topic, you may flip repeatedly from one to another. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you will produce a good record of your stream of consciousness, but often you can't keep up. Speed is not the goal, though sometimes the process revs you up. The only point is to keep writing. And I just think that this quote is so important because when you're free writing, there is a sort of momentum to it. Getting started can be a little challenging for some, but the more time you spend on one piece, the flow is eventually established and you're able to, create this piece of writing and, have all these ideas on paper that might help you with an assignment or might just help you focus, or it could just be interesting to read later on. You never know. But again, the goal is to just write. So it's not supposed to be stressful. You're not supposed to overthink it or anything. But I know that that could be challenging for some of us. I'm someone that likes to think a lot about what I'm writing. So the challenge for a lot of us is how we can go about just writing and putting that time aside. And I have a couple different little tips and tricks that you can try. And the first is just don't be afraid to write the same thing over and over again. It's okay to say, I have nothing to say again and again. It's okay to say, I don't know what to write. Or just repeat the same word or phrase over and over again. That's up to you. If you really don't know what to write, that's an option. Sometimes writing the same thing again and again can lead you to new ideas. And then it might lead you into a whole new direction for the rest of your free write. So I encourage you, don't be afraid to say the same thing again and again. But if you don't really want to do that, or eventually you're like, okay, this is enough, you could also use prompts. So free writing is supposed to just be an exercise where you write about whatever, but sometimes that's challenging for some of us. Like, I know if I'm told to write about anything, well, there's a million things that I could write about. What do you want me to write about? So sometimes prompts kind of help us to focus and pick an idea. But you could also use other texts for inspiration to get ideas from the phrasing, from other authors, other writers. And I'm going to clarify this point a little bit more moving forward, because this isn't plagiarism. It's not taking their ideas, but it's using them in a new way. And you can also just experiment, try some new things with your writing. So experimenting is a little more focused on when you already have some piece of writing, but I'm going to kind of go over all of these in a little more detail, besides number one, because obviously writing the same thing again and again is pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. So using prompts is just kind of giving you something specific to write about, to think about. So it can easily be thinking about what you're feeling, or maybe a recent experience that you've had that you could write a lot about. If you're thinking about something in the future, what do you have to do tonight? What do you have to do tomorrow? What do you have to do in a week? You could also think hypothetically, like, what if people had tails? What would that be like? These are just different things that you can try to get writing onto the paper, to free write for 5 to 10 minutes about this specific topic to answer this specific question. So don't feel boxed in. You can come up with whatever you want. But I do have a couple suggestions, a couple different ideas. I'm going to share a resource at the end of this video to kind of get you started if this is something that you feel comfortable trying. But we also have an opportunity to try it right now. So this is actually one of my favorite prompts. It's kind of like my go-to when I'm free writing, because it's something so simple. It's so here and now in the present. So how are you feeling right now? Consider your emotions, your thoughts, any sensations you might be experiencing. If you're wearing a super scratchy sweater, how does that feel on your skin? Like if you're wearing earrings, how does that feel? Like the weight of it? What's on your mind right now? I'm sure you're watching this video and have other things going on. Maybe you're hungry, or maybe you're super stressed about an upcoming exam. So considering all those things, and just write it out. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to have a specific order. It's just writing what you're feeling, what you're thinking. And feel free to pause the video and then just set a timer on your phone or laptop for like 5 or 10 minutes and just see what you can produce. Just give it a try and see where it goes. I'm going to continue going, but you can feel free to pause and try this out. Or you could try it at the end of the video too, whatever works best for you. So you could also use other texts for inspiration. The keyword here is inspiration. So it's simply using the same sentence and verse frames for new writing. It's taking the ideas of someone else and creating something new with it. So it's not stealing their ideas. It's not plagiarism. It's using something and turning it into something new. And that could be a little, complicated, maybe a little difficult to understand. So here's a concrete example. So I took, a portion of that quote from Peter Elbow. So you may stay on one topic, you may flip repeatedly from one to another. It doesn't matter. It's just that simple little portion. But I really liked, how it had, 2 complete statements separated by a comma, and then had a colon with another, complete thought after that. I thought it was just really interesting, and I liked the style of it. So I took it and I wrote something entirely new. It's on its own topic. It's not even really connected, but I'm using that kind of phrasing, that same sort of writing style to create something new. So for whatever reason, when I came up with it, I was thinking like Romeo and Juliet, love that, can't be found or, can't be reconciled. So we may be of the same heart, our souls entwined to the same fate. We are true love incarnate, but the end result is all the same. So you can kind of see the parallels between the two. You can see the comma between the two complete phrases. You see the colon and then another complete phrase. Obviously, mine's longer and, it has a different kind of mood to it. So it's my own writing, but I took inspiration from Pierre Elbow and his phrasing to make something new, make something my own. So feel free to try this, if you want to just open up a random book and pick a phrase that you really like, even a textbook, or maybe someone says something really interesting and you like the way that they said it, try and write it and make it your own. You can do all kinds of different things with this. So again, feel free to pause and try the activity if you would like with whatever resources that you have, or you can even use the quote that I provided and make something of your own. But you can also experiment. There's other ways that you can experiment. So the ones that I suggested usually have to do with after you've written a little bit of something. So the first one is circling words and phrases that seem important and asking questions about them. So you can even do this for like a reading. And think about those words that maybe really stick out to you and ask yourself different open-ended questions and use that to inspire you to write. So you can pick anything. You can ask whatever questions. Again, it's really open-ended. There's no correct way to do this. You can also just pick one phrase in your writing and write it again 3 new different ways. So this is almost like a new way of writing the same thing over and over again. So let's say you just write one phrase on your paper and you have no other ideas. You can easily just rewrite that sentence in a couple different ways. Change the way you're phrasing it, change the words that you're using, and just keep doing that. Then you might come up with a new sentence and try the same thing again. This is also really good if when you're reading something doesn't sound right, just trying this exercise to see what works best. And it's really good for finding, your own writing style. So give it a shot. Try some of these different strategies to get yourself started. And don't be hard on yourself. It's not easy to do from the get-go. You're not going to start and be able to write for a super long time or write a ton. That's perfectly okay. Start slow, start simple. If 5 minutes is even too much, set a timer for 2 minutes and work your way up. The goal is to just write. It's not meant to be stressful. It's supposed to help you, when you're assigned a paper and you have to sit and get it done, you have a deadline coming up. Free writing can help to prepare you for that. So you can get used to sitting down and writing on command, even when you really don't want to. So I hope that you can find the benefits in this. And I'm also going to share a quick resource with you. These are just a couple different prompts that you can use. So I divided them into like feeling prompts, experience prompts, to-do prompts, and hypothetical prompts. You can do whatever, make it up. If none of these appeal to you, come up with your own. It's really completely open-ended. It's up to you what you want to do with it. But hopefully you can try free writing and reap the benefits of it. It's a really great thing to do. So I will link the resources in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.